Hey everyone, so you might be wondering what the heck is on the screen right now, but the word problems we're going to go through all have to do with one huge idea. If you're able to find the total and understand what the total is in any word problem, especially ones involving fractions and fractional parts, you're going to have a heck of a lot easier time solving them. So let's get right to it. Some problems involving fractional parts. Take a look at this one. It says at Monday's flag football game, Mr. Negron noticed that 1/6 of the Kipsters at the field were girls. There were 35 Kip boys at the field. How many Kip girls were at the field for the game on Monday? Okay, as always, when we look at a word problem, we want to circle the key information and underline that's right, the question. So let's do that now. There's the key information. And there's the question, how many Kip girls were at the field for the game on Monday? But here's the deal. When you read a problem like this, I know you want to focus on the question, but I want to push you all to focus on what the problem's about and what the total represents. So think about it. In this problem, what is the total? Okay, turn and talk to a partner, or if you don't have anyone there, start talking to yourself. What's the total about? Go ahead and do that. Okay, did you say that the total was the girls? Because if you did, you'd be wrong. If you said it was the boys, you'd be wrong. It's actually the Kip boys and girls at the game. It's both boys and girls. That's the total. So what do we do next? Well, first we need to realize that's a super important thing that just popped up on the screen. A question mark. We don't actually know what how many boys and girls were at the game. We do know some part of it, but we don't know the total, and that's okay, and you need to be comfortable with that. So once you identify the total, make your bar. There it is. Now, think to yourself, how many pieces are we going to cut this bar up into? Go ahead, call it out now. Yep, 6 is correct. And how many are we going to shade in? Go ahead, call it out. Yep, that's right, it's 1. And now think about, go back to the problem and closely read it. What does the 1/6, this purple part here, what does that represent? Go ahead, tell me. Yep, it's the Kipsters at the field that were girls, so we're going to label that girls, and we're going to label the rest. Go ahead, call it out. Yep, that's the boys. Okay, now, we've talked about the 1/6 being girls. What about this 35? Again, if you closely read it, you should know where the 35 goes. Go ahead and point on the screen where you think the 35 should go. Are you pointing here? You're right. That's where the 35 goes because there's 35 boys. So now, last thing we have to do is we got to figure out how much goes in each box, or we like to call them a unit. So, really important, how many units span or go across the 35 boys? How many units go across the 35 boys? That's right, it's 5 units for 35 boys, which means 1 unit, don't call it out yet, but think. If 5 units is 35 boys, 1 unit would be, call it out, 35 divided by 5, which is 7. Which means that's 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. And now all of a sudden, we go back to the question, which asked us how many Kip girls were at the field for the game on Monday. And the answer was, in a complete sentence, there were 7 Kip girls at the field for the game on Monday. Okay, once again, this is a problem when we don't know the total. You have to become comfortable with that. Let's try another. Mr. Graham took an inventory of all the dodgeballs we have in the building. There are 72 dodgeballs in all, and the dodgeballs are either red, green, or purple. If 2/9 of them are red and 1/3 are green, how many of the dodgeballs are purple? Okay, first step as always, let's circle the key information and underline the question. That's right. All right, 72 dodgeballs I see. And there's this other part here that I highlighted that says they're either red, green, or purple. It's important in this problem that we know that there's only 3 colors of dodgeballs. Okay, as always, next step. What's the total? So once again, and we're going to keep doing this over and over again, you read a word problem, I want you to either tell yourself, talk to yourself, or talk to a neighbor now for 15 seconds. about what this word problem is about and what you think the total should be. Go ahead. And you can push pause if I start talking. Okay, so did you say that it was about the red dodgeballs, the green dodgeballs, the purple ones? No, it's actually about all of them, the number of dodgeballs in total. And in this problem, do we know the total number of dodgeballs? Call it out, yes or no? Yes, in fact, we do. There's 72 of them. It says it right in the question. So same thing though, we make our bar, and the bar represents our total. Now, this problem's a little different than the last one because we have two fractions in it. We have 2/9 and 1/3. That's right. And those fractions do not speak the same language. So what we need to do is make what we call, that's right, equivalent fractions. So you'll see to the side here, I decided to make them both speak the language of ninths. Therefore, I had to do nothing with 2/9, but I did have to make 1/3 and multiply it by 3/3 to make 3/9. Now we have an idea of how much we should cut our bar up into. How many pieces should we cut it up into? Yep, that's correct. 9 equal pieces. And then we start shading them in and writing down underneath what they mean. It said 2/9 are red, so check it out. 2/9 are red. Now 1/3 were green. We said 1/3 was equivalent to 3/9. So how many am I shading in for the green? That's right, 3 for green. And that means the rest are the color. Call it out, please. Purple. Great. Now, how many of the dodgeballs are purple? Well, first thing we need to do is figure out what number should go in each unit. And for this problem, we have 72 total, and how many units? Don't call it out yet, but just count them up. Okay, how many units do we have? Call it out. That's right, it's 9. So we have 9 units for 72 dodgeballs. So what would 1 unit be worth? Think about it. Don't call it out yet. Remember, this is a simple division problem. Okay, now call it out. That's right. 1 unit is 8 dodgeballs. You have 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, and yeah, 8. So we've now made a fully labeled bar model, so we can easily answer the question of how many of the dodgeballs are purple. Here's the purple over here. So that's 8, 16, 24, 32, and you're done. 32 of the dodgeballs are purple. In this problem, we knew what the total is. But you could still do it if you don't know the total as well. All right, here we go. I've created 4 different problems for you. And here's your opportunity to practice some on your own. And here's what's going to happen. I'm going to leave these up on the screen, and you could take out a sheet of paper and solve these on your own. You could press pause, and then when you're done with all the problems, I'm going to go through and show you the answers and the bar models that I made for each of them. So there are 4 problems here. You can pause now. But before you do, I just want to remind you, please do these problems just like I showed you. And the most important thing is finding the total. You don't always have to know it, but you need to understand what it is. So I'm going to flip back here. Those are the 4 questions. Press pause now, copy those down, and try them. And make sure you fully label your bar model. Okay, press pause now, because if you don't, I'm going to go through and start going through each problem. Okay, so by now, you should have gone through each of these problems, making sure that you found the total. And here was number 1. It talks about a 5th grade math test, 45 questions, and this girl, Catherine, got 4/5 of them correct. How many questions did she get incorrect? Check out my bar model. I labeled my total. I didn't take any shortcuts, even though I know some of you can do this in your head. I wrote out that 5 units was 45 questions, so 1 unit was 9 questions. I labeled each unit with 9, and the correct answer was she got 9 questions incorrect. Check out number 2. This is about Joaquin buying a pair of pants and a shirt. He spent 2/5 of the total money on the shirt. He paid $27 for the pants. How much did Joaquin pay for the shirt? Now, here's what my bar model looked like. Hopefully you got the same answer and the same look of the bar model. Interesting. In this one, The answer was he paid $18 for the shirt. But the important thing here is that I didn't know the total. In the other problem I did, but this one, the total is all the money he spent on pants and a shirt. I had the shirt down here, and I knew the pants. That was the value that they gave me. Same idea as before. Take a look, and as always, you can call me if you have any questions or concerns uh, or any blunders that you made. Number 3. All right, 2 fractions in this problem about reading a nonfiction book. And she read some of it on Monday, some of it on Tuesday, and the rest on Wednesday. Wednesday, it told you how many pages were in the book. Here's what I got. My total, in this case, I did know it. It told me there were 80 pages in the book. I had to make the fractions speak the same language. I had to make a lot of units, 20 in fact, because that was the language I needed them to speak. I labeled each unit, and I found out that she read 44 pages on Wednesday. Sorry for the poopy blunder there. Finally, last one, number 4. Mr. Dukeman's last science test. 30 people scored an A. That's 2/5 of the entire class. How many people did not score an A? Here we go. Another one where I do not know the total. The total in this case was the number of Kipsters who took the test. It was not 30 people, because that's not everyone who took the test. It said 30 people was 2/5 of the entire class. So over here, I shaded in 2/5 and wrote 30 that scored an A. These were the Kipsters who didn't score an A. You can see I put 15 for each unit, and there were 45 Kipsters, 15, 30, 45, who didn't score an A. So again, if you're having any problems with these, please give me a call. I'm always here to help. As always, thank you for listening.